Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. This is a show where we talk about sports with comedians. So let's get ready to bring some of the comedians in. Up first is my man known as Fig. I look like talent ain't in today. How you doing today, bro? How's everything?
Man, it's a good day, man.
You all right?
Good weather, sun is shining, TGIF.
All right, okay. There it is. And it looks like my man A-Rock Silly Amir. Silly's in the building. Amir, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. How's everything, gentlemen? How y'all doing today?
What up, man?
All right,
How's
so
everything, Fig?
Man, I'm in the building.
You still in Vegas or you back on the
No. I'm back on the East Coast. Back on the East Coast.
Okay, all right. Man, before we jump into it, how was Vegas, bro?
Vegas was really, really great, Frank, man. Just real quick, like you said, I had the opportunity to. I didn't get to any of the official games as far as the NBA Summer League, but I did. The festivities were being held in the Wynn Hotel. So one of my boys who lives out there, he, kind of keeps up with everything that's going on. So we kind of hung out at all the specific spots where you would bump into anybody and everybody out there. So I did have the opportunity to see Joe Dumars. I had an opportunity to see Coach Boeheim and his wife, and speak to Coach Boeheim and his wife. That was really, really cool. I saw a lot of the Net staff. I saw a lot of the Timberwolves staff. I saw several other players as well. But a lot of these new kids, I don't know them like the way I know some of the older players. So you see these kids and you look and you like, okay, I know he's in the NBA. I just don't know who he is because they all got similar haircuts. They all kind of dress alike. So I was like, wow, it's so different, to watch this newer generation. So that was really, really cool.
Hey, Amir, I hope you didn't gamble away our inheritance. How about that?
No, sir.
Similar haircuts. Similar haircuts. Well, you know what? That's the new kids are all wearing the same thing and the same haircut. Yeah, they're all doing that. All right, so let's gonna jump into it, Fig. I'm gonna start things out first with you, bro, and say I don't know if you heard, but Bo Jackson helped pay for a lot of the funerals of the 19 children and 2 teachers who were killed in the massacre in Uvalde, Texas. I found out the amount of money he donated was $170,000, and I was like, man, Bo Jackson is not the player I expected to do that, but I was very happy to hear that he did that. Fig.
Wow.
Especially when everything that came out about that. What's your take on that, Fig? What you think?
I'm gonna say it this way: Bo knows tragedy. Remember that? Remember when they did the Bo knows campaign? Bo knows this, Bo knows that.
Yeah.
The thing is that a lot of our people in our community do philanthropic things when they have the opportunity to do so. And then we don't make a lot of noise about it. I remember Prince, after he had passed away, it came out that he bought a lot of homes for underprivileged families and stuff like that. He did a lot of philanthropic things. And he told the people who facilitated it that if you ever let it get out, I'm going to fire you. Mm-hmm. So that's how much under the radar he wanted to stay with his, with his philanthropic endeavors, if you will. And last but not least, our community has an intimate relationship with loss and tragedy. So we feel it different than other communities, and we're sympathetic, probably more sympathetic than other communities because we're always touched by it in some way, shape, form, or fashion because of the type of relationship we have with America, being African American. So when I hear of an African American or a Black player or somebody of color doing something like that, it doesn't surprise me because we're in touch with what it feels like to have loss.
And Amir, you want to throw in on that?
The only thing I'd add to that, and I think I echo all the sentiments that Fig just said, is as a larger part of this community, we just have a tendency to want to do what is seemingly known as the right thing, and I don't think that in all cases people want to have the world know that they're just doing the right thing, because in essence it's sad that we have to look at situations like this and say, oh my God, we need to shine a light on it, as opposed to it being almost the norm and people doing it because that's how we're supposed to be 2, 4, and 1. and act towards one another. So you know what I mean? So that's the only thing I'd add to that. It's kind of sad that we have to shine a light on it in order for people to go, oh my God, as opposed to, you know what? That's the norm. That's how we get down. That's what the world is supposed to be doing for each other. So wow.
Right.
But that's still an incredible thing for Bo Jackson to do. So kudos to him.
All right, so let's jump into this, man. Fig, Russia kicked back, and they said that Russia's spokesperson said on Thursday that the United States classifying Brittany Griner as wrongfully detained shows blatant disrespect for Russian law. They're saying that Brittany Griner, U.S. is painting it to look like one thing, whereas marijuana is illegal, and they're following the law. So my thing with you, Fig, is Russia right in kicking back by saying this? Because even though marijuana is legal in some of these states and everything else, it doesn't matter one bit in Russia if it's legal in the United States. It's against the law in Russia, and she broke the law. So what's your take on what Russia's saying against the United States, saying that you guys need to respect our laws more so? What do you think, Fig?
I don't think it's more of a. I don't think it's really the United States is disrespecting Russia's laws or trying to tell Russia what to do. But in order for our government to get involved, they had to label it as that. So now Russia, you got your thing, but in order for us to do what we need to do, we need to label it this way over here. We're not trying to tell you what to do over there, but in order for the government to get involved to facilitate her release, we have to classify it a certain way in order for the government to be able to get involved. Because if it looks like she did something and she wasn't wrongfully detained, then the United States government can't be involved in facilitating her release. So in order for the United States government to be involved in her release and getting her back, we had to label it that way.
Mike Sean has joined the show. Mike, how you doing, bro? How's everything?
I'm good. What's going on, fellas?
All right,
hey,
so
good to see you.
I'm
Good
going
to see you, Mike.
to you, Mike. Man, Russia kicked back, and Russia's saying that Brittany Griner broke the law, and they don't like the way the United States is painting the picture that against them, and because ultimately marijuana and that type of stuff, and oils and all that stuff is illegal all over in the country of Russia. What's your take on this, Mike?
I feel extremely bad for her before I answer this question. And I can't even imagine the terror that she's going through. But she broke the law. And as Americans, we go around the world cocky as hell, thinking that everybody's going to look upon what we do the way we do in this country. This is why this country got a lot of problems. This country is far from perfect. This country is terrorized, has basically tried to destroy people of color, has tried to oppress them, but understand that one Constitution, as much as we don't agree with it, doesn't fit in every other country. Right. So when you go out this country and that passport is stamped, don't do anything. I had a cousin who was in jail in Korea, and it was a whole different animal, and was like, dog, like these rappers walking around, but I don't want to veer off into too much. I want her to be free. I get she made a mistake, but we cannot sit here and say she did not break the law.
Right. She ultimately broke the law. She did what she did there. Man, you throw in 2 cents real fast?
Yeah, the only other 2 cents I'll add to that, to both Mike and Fig's points, is they New Yorkers, so, and I'm sure you can attest to this. You have to know what the laws are in the places that you go visit, plain and simple. Once you know what those laws are, you operate accordingly. That's the bottom line. There's no disrespect to her. There's no disrespect to her capabilities and who she is as an athlete and who she is as a person. The reality of it all is, we from New York. Mike could attest to this. As a kid, we couldn't go to Brooklyn. If you wasn't from Brooklyn, you need to see who's from Brooklyn, who's from that area, what's going on over there, Queens, the list goes on and on and on. Like I said, you might have something similar to that in Boston, but that's how that works. And when you know what those laws are, when you know what the rules are, then you just operate accordingly. And Mike hit it on the head. You can't be cocky because we're Americans and go, it doesn't apply to me.
Yeah,
yes, it does. You know,
And Frank, let me give you one quick example. My best friend in the world got into a fight in Midtown Manhattan. I broke up the fight. We both went to jail. If he didn't see the judge in time, they were going to send him to Rikers. I had no idea getting into a fight in Midtown Manhattan could literally be a chance that you could end up in Rikers.
Wow.
It was just a fight. But that's what Amir hit it right on the nail on the head. Whenever you go someplace, you better know the laws.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. All right, so Amir, I'm gonna get you some time. You're gonna be last in this. I'm gonna give you some time because we didn't know you were gonna do this. We didn't know you were gonna join, but we've been doing lately. I don't know if you've been watching. We've been doing Mount Rushmore of certain questions, right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you some time, and I'm gonna ask you last. Give you some time to get the list together. But here's the thing. I sent the guys this question last night, and I'm gonna go with Fig first. I sent the guys last night Mount Rushmore of great college players who were NBA busts, like complete busts. I'm gonna even add a little caveat on that and say, like NBA players who had the most hype. You know what I mean? College player who had the most hype. Like everybody's like, "Oh, I can't wait to see this dude ball because he got." I'm gonna add that. And I'm gonna go first, Big. I'm gonna go first, okay?
Let's not call them busts. Let's just say they didn't meet their potential.
I'm gonna call mine bust. I'm gonna call mine bust. You can call yours didn't meet your potential if you want to, because I got pissed off at some of these dudes, and you'll see why. All right. So my Mount Rushmore of players who were NBA busted out. Number one to me, it's got to be, even though he played 7 years, got to be Greg Oden. I was like, Greg Oden's like,
yeah, but that's not fair. He got hurt.
I know, but he was an NBA bust. You know?
Frank is Suge Knight today. What?
He's a bust. He's a bust. All right, but I'll let that one slide. My number two, it probably could have been my 1 in 1A. It's got to be Nervous Purvis Ellison because he got drafted by the Celtics. Everybody thought he was going to be the best thing since sliced bread, and he was going to change. I was mad at that dude. Number three is J.R. Reed, and we all know why. And number four, Mateen Cleaves. I thought Mateen Cleaves was going to do work. When I saw Mateen Cleaves come out, I thought he was going to do work in the NBA. I remember watching the Michigan game in the championship. I remember seeing him do work. I was like, oh, Mateen, he's going to be bad in the NBA. That dude was a ghost. So that's my four. Now, Fig, I'm going to throw it to you. Damn. And I know you ain't got the same four I got. But, Fig, who is your four of the greatest college players who came out? Oh, let me just add can I add my bonus? Can I throw my bonus out?
Absolutely.
My bonus is Danny Ferry. I thought Danny Ferry was going to come out and do work, too. Danny Ferry came out and I was like...
First of all, the fact that you thought Danny Ferry was going to do work, that was your fault. That wasn't Danny Ferry's fault. That was your fault.
That's true. But I was mistaken by watching too much Duke play basketball. That's my problem.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't think nobody's going to talk Nervous Purvis because honestly, if I saw Nervous Purvis right now walking down the street, I would just look at him right now and be like, you know what, dude? Do one of them shakes. But Fig, who is your four? Give me your four of the college players who were NBA, according to Mike, didn't live up to their standards. I don't want to put busts on your thing. Who's your four?
Damn.
Now you took one of mine, which was Danny Ferry.
Go ahead. You can still use Danny Ferry. Go ahead.
Danny Ferry. It's kind of funny that you said Mateen. I didn't have Mateen Cleaves on my list, but I really thought by the way he played in college, I thought he was gonna make more noise than he actually did.
I knew he was gonna stay fat.
Harold Miner.
Ooh.
We thought everybody talked about Harold Miner was going to be that dude. What we call him? The next Michael Jordan. He was the next grocery store bagger.
This is horrible. This is horrible. This is all
when there's a full line at the Stop and Shop, Harold Miner opens up the extra register. That's what he did.
All right, keep going.
Chris Washburn.
Oh yeah.
Now that's a good one. That's a good
Chris
one.
Washburn. Chris Washburn right now owns a change of laundromats called the Washburn. Because he washed out. Who else? Bo Kimball.
Oh, I forgot about Bo.
Remember Bo Kimball?
Yeah.
But see, that was your fault again. That was your fault for thinking he was gonna ball out.
Yeah, but he stole the list. He stole the list.
I got two more. Adam Morrison.
Damn. Okay.
Remember Adam Morrison?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
J.R. Reed.
Yeah, I got him. I got J.R. Reed on
You
mine.
got J.R. Reed. And last, just giving a little something. Remember Ed O'Bannon.
Yes, Ed O'Bannon.
Yeah, and his brother.
Fig, how many was
You
that?
could have got 2 with that. You could have got 2 for 1.
Fig, I said 4. That was 8. You gave me 8, I think.
I gave you 4. 5. I gave you 4 and an extra one.
All right, 4 and an extra. All right, so Mike Sean, Amir, still get your list. Get your list.
I'm working on it.
Okay, so Mike Sean, you better not have anybody that was your fault because I'm gonna let you have it.
All right, I'm just gonna say this: the thing that kills me is that these guys are considered bust because general managers made mistakes, and then the pressure's put on these players because the general manager. The general manager never gets named on who drafted these guys and where they drafted them. I just want to say that.
So
now,
that's a precursor before you give us.
That's a precursor on this whole thing. I used to be a huge Syracuse Orangeman fan in St. John's. That's the only 2 teams I watched. Sherman Douglas, I thought was going to do more. I'm not saying Sherman didn't have a nice career.
He wasn't a bust.
But I thought he was. But that was my bad. I thought he was going to kill it. Like I thought he was going to be like an elite, like Mark Jackson type of John Stockton, Kenny Anderson type of guard. That's what I thought. So Syracuse, I'm sorry. Pearl Washington.
Yes.
I know he was fat in college, and I know I should have been like, he's going to stay fat in the pros. But Pearl Washington was amazing in college. Like, Pearl Washington was amazing. And I forgot to do his actual name, but for some reason I remember his nickname. Remember Tractor Trailer?
Yeah, Tractor Trailer. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was his name? What was Tractor Trailer's name?
I can't remember.
Shoot, I can't remember it, but I remember him.
And he was a beast in college.
I'll give you another one, and I'm gonna be unfair because it was injury. Probably Sam Bowie. I'm gonna give you that.
Yeah.
But that was because of his feet. And then I'm gonna say every Knick draft pick other than R.J. Barrett.
Hilarious.
In the last 5 years, I say every draft pick. Like, we skipped over guys.
You just threw up 9.
Yeah, I got 9. Yeah. That's it.
Man, you ready for your 4?
Yeah.
Robert Trailer was his name.
Robert Trailer.
Exactly.
Robert Trailer.
Right, okay. So, you ready for your 4?
Yes. So I got Christian Laettner.
Damn, I missed him.
Because y'all remember
he played a long time, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I get it.
But he didn't. He all he has to his credit is that shot. Let's keep it 1,000. He got that one shot. That's it.
Is that the one that was on the Dream Team?
No, the one when he was in college and he did the spin and he knocked down.
He was on the Dream Team. He took shots.
He was on the Dream Team. But his only real highlight is that one college shot in Duke. That's it.
Yeah.
We don't remember. You can't name a pro game where he killed anybody. You're like, you know what? You're right. All right. Okay. I got Stanley Roberts. Remember Stanley Roberts, who was there before Shaq? Stanley Roberts was really, really good. I always thought that he was going to do better because before Shaq got there, Stanley Roberts was really, really good. And I guess Shaq took his heart. I don't know.
But you know what?
I got Stanley Roberts.
Shaq also said his freshman year, Stanley Roberts used to kill him in practice. So
but that's what I'm saying.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So, Stanley Roberts was really, really good. Somebody else who I thought was going to be good, I can't think of his name right now, because he got in the league and he was just mediocre. But they had the greatest, I thought one of the greatest NCAA battles ever, and they were both shooters. One was from the Big East. I think, they both was from the Big East, or one was from the ACC and one was from the Big East. Y'all know who I'm speaking of. I can't think of the dude's name right now, but I'll come back to them. So I got Kwame Brown, and we all know that was a whole nother situation, but Kwame Brown, and then Sean Bradley. Remember big Sean Bradley?
Yeah.
Super
He
Sean
was like
Bradley.
7'6" or something.
Yeah.
That was your good. That was a good list. All right, man. Still wide. I'm gonna get you last in this next round.
Oh, I got a bonus one, and I want to see if y'all remember him.
Okay,
he played at Notre Dame, David Rivers, and
he
played for the Lakers.
Yes,
and
had
he
the
actually,
afro.
yes,
Had
and he actually on NBC when NBC had the games on Sunday,
Yes.
killed it one game. One game he killed it. David Rivers.
Yes. Wow.
All right,
wow.
So
that's a good one.
So, man, these guys did their homework. In this next round, I don't think they did it, but here's the next one. All
Okay.
right, name your teams that should have won an NBA championship that busted out during their playoff run because of they ran into somebody or you know what I mean. So my teams that I got that I thought were going to win the NBA championship was, remember the Cleveland Cavaliers during that run, and then they ran into Michael Jordan. I got Cleveland Cavaliers as one.
Yeah.
Y'all killed me for saying Brad Doherty yesterday, and y'all clown me for saying Brad Doherty yesterday.
That was yesterday. We ain't talking about today. Number two, my number two team is the Portland Trailblazers with Scottie Pippen. When they was doing work. I thought I was they're gonna take it. They're gonna take it. Number three for me is the New York Knicks. I thought the Knicks was finally gonna get it, and they finally got over that hump. And then they went to the finals and they lost. I was like, yeah. And my last team was the Lakers when the Lakers ran into Michael Jordan. I thought the Lakers was going to win it all that year too. So those are my 14.
Wow.
Okay.
Those are my 14. Fig, you got your 14? You ready?
I got my 4 teams. I picked the Knicks 2 times. One time with Patrick Ewing when he got injured, and the only one we had to back him up against San Antonio was
Larry Johnson.
No,
Marcus Camby.
Marcus Camby, yeah. Patrick Ewing, he broke his wrist or something. I thought we was gonna get it that year. Dallas, when they ran up against the Warriors. Remember that year?
Yeah.
Was it TMS or something like that? Run TMC or something like that.
Yeah.
When them boys just ran them out of the gym, they were the 8 seed.
That was a good one.
Dallas was the number 1 seed. They ran them out the building. I was like, oh my God, they couldn't do nothing with these boys. Houston with James Harden and Chris Paul when they ran up against the Golden State Warriors. That was man, and they had them 3-1 or something like that. I thought Houston was finally gonna get over the hump. Nothing happening. Last but not least, just recently, the Golden State Warriors, when they ran up against, I know they had injuries. I don't talk about injuries. When they ran up against Toronto.
Yeah, that's
and with Kawhi Leonard and them, they ended up beating them and stuff like that. So that was pretty tough. They played them tough. They lost Kevin Durant, and then they turned around and lost Klay Thompson. But
yeah, that happened.
I thought that they was going to win that series, and they ended up losing to Toronto.
I thought of another team, and I should have added too, but I'm going to see if you guys pick it. I'll throw it out there at last. Mike, you got your 4 teams ready? Your Mount Rushmore teams that was making a run that should have won the NBA championship but hit a huge roadblock? Go ahead.
Okay, it was a huge roadblock. When the Houston Rockets had Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon, I thought they were going to win a championship, and they played Boston, and they were just too young. Olajuwon actually got ejected from one game for punching one of the Celtic players in the face and the whole nine. Another team that I thought, I'm going to take it old school, was the Milwaukee Bucks with Sidney Moncrief, Marcus Johnson, Bob Lanier, and Paul Pressey. I thought they had to play against Boston and the Sixers in the playoffs every single season, and it was just impossible for them to beat everybody. And then you had to add Detroit. Another team that I thought, and this is the one that I got 2 more. The Seattle Supersonics were supposed to win a championship.
I had that, but go ahead, Mike.
I can still be your team.
You can still be a team, Amir. The Supersonics were supposed to win a championship, yo. But they caught like the Bulls at a spot where Mike was different than the second Mike. He was and Scotty was different, and it was just a whole. There was nothing. Your best player was Gary Payton, and you had to put him on Jordan, which wasn't fair, even though Gary Payton was one of the greatest defensive players ever. And when Gary wasn't on him, then he put Scotty on him. And then, you know, at that point, Sean Kemp did have a 10-foot jump shot, but he didn't have the range that players have now. I think if Sean Kemp played in this league and would have grown up the way these kids grow up now, I think Sean Kemp would be shooting threes and daring people to actually try and come out and cover them. And then the one that I think everybody should have had, the Utah Jazz should have won a championship.
Oh,
yes. Yeah.
I forgot about
Malone, John Stockton. Yeah.
And that's why I hate when people think because you didn't win a championship, you weren't a championship player. Karl Malone and John Stockton were championship players.
Yeah.
They just happen to play guys who were better championship players. Like Charles Barkley, as much as he gets on my nerves, is a championship player.
Yeah.
And those Phoenix Suns, we should have won a championship too.
Yeah.
That's another team. But that's my Mount Rushmore.
All right, so that's your 4. Go ahead, man. Give me your 4.
Okay, so first off, I got the Boston Celtics. The year Kobe, I think, won his 5th with Pau Gasol. I think Boston would have or could have won that series. I like Fig said, you know, you don't want to.
What's his name got hurt?
Talk about injuries, but I think if they would have had their full squad, I think they would have beat the Lakers. I personally had the Sacramento Kings that year that Mike Bibby and Chris Webber were balling. They were balling their behinds off.
And Vlade and all them.
Wow, and I felt like they got robbed in that series, but that's a whole
those refs
thing.
robbed them. Yeah.
And then to Mike's point, I had the Seattle Supersonics with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, and then I had the Utah Jazz as well because I was like, there's no way that Karl Malone, John Stockton, I forgot the shooting guard that looked like Scooby Doo from Scooby Doo. They shouldn't have won.
The guy.
Yeah. So
you know what team nobody picked either to throw up here is the Miami Heat. The year that LeBron James went up there, everybody just knew they were gonna win, and they lost to Dallas Mavericks. You know what I mean?
They sure did.
Yeah.
Dallas took them apart, man. With Dirk Nowitzki and basically a bunch of role players. They took them apart.
But remember, Jason Kidd. Everybody forgets Jason Kidd was still on that team.
Yeah.
And Tyson Chandler and them guys. But I will tell you, I don't believe in karma, but LeBron and Dwayne Wade trying to play Nowitzki behind the scenes when he said he was sick and they were coughing around him, like claiming that he wasn't sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like that changed the whole series. People forget Dirk is a Hall of Famer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And that changes LeBron's whole legacy. Because if he wins that chip, they three-peat.
Yeah,
that's true. And we can't forget the Jet was on there.
Oh, the Jet was on there. Yeah.
Jason Terry.
And Sean Marion was on there.
Yeah,
Plastic Man.
Y'all ready? I got another one that I didn't give you all heads up. So y'all get ready to get your thinking cap.
Here we go.
Yeah, Frank always got to throw something out there. But this one's easy. All right. Besides Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant. That's the precursor. Besides Michael, LeBron, and Kobe, who are your 4 best players to put on Mount Rushmore? If there was a 7-headed Mount Rushmore, you already know. You know Mike and LeBron and Kobe gonna be on it. You know they're gonna be on it. Who's your 4 that you got to say? You know what? These dudes, these 4 have got to be on it. Who want to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, I mean, you got that. Who's your 4?
So I got Dr. J. I got Tiny Archibald.
Ooh, I like that one.
I got Kareem. And my 4th would be Magic.
Okay.
For me.
All right. Some people would probably be mad about your Tiny Archibald, but I like Tiny Archibald because he was a baller. Who want to go next? Fig, Mike, which one do you want to go next?
All right, these are the rules. How about can I make a new rule?
Go ahead.
You can't repeat any names.
Get out of here. God, y'all let me go first.
You gotta think of a brand new four.
I like that, Mike. I like that. I ain't. But if you can, how about this? How about this? If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. How about that?
Yeah. It's not, we ain't going to jail for it, but
yeah. Okay, you want to go? You want to go?
You know what? Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you this. I'll start out with these two first, since they weren't on my, since I ain't have them on my list. I got Hakeem Olajuwon because Hakeem was a beast, and let me tell you something. Every single year during the playoffs, Hakeem observed Ramadan. And during Ramadan, for I think it's 30 days or 50 days, 30 days,
it's 30.
You can't eat or drink anything from sun up to sundown. No, not even no water. And he still played at a high level and got 2 championships with Houston.
You got 3 more. Come on, you got 3 more.
Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was an animal. He was an absolute monster. So I got Charles Barkley. Since you took my 2, man, I'm mad at you. I'll throw out a Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry could be on the Mount Rushmore right now with 4 championships, the MVPs, the 3-point shooting record in the playoff for a year. Like, it just could. He just done so much. And you say we can't use LeBron, we can't use Kobe, and we can't use Michael Jordan. I gotta throw out Magic. Oh, you know what? Larry Bird.
You just took mine.
Larry Bird.
Let me erase mine. You just took mine. All right, go ahead. That's your 4.
That's my 4.
Mike.
Larry Bird.
It's since Mike made the rule. Now he mad. All right, Mike. Come on. You're on the spot now. So go ahead. There's a lot of players out there.
Tim Duncan.
Yes.
Dominic Wilkins.
Nice.
Oscar Robinson.
The big O.
Yeah, I like that one.
I'll keep it old school. Walt Frazier.
Clyde. My man. Clyde.
Right. Now here's my 4. Since y'all took all my 4, like all of y'all went first. I should have went first. And then
I forgot one, but go ahead. Oh, I forgot an obvious one. Oh.
Yeah, because I had Larry Bird, y'all took Larry Bird. I had Magic, y'all took Magic. All right, but I don't know if I made 4 up real fast. Mitch Richmond, David Thompson, David Robinson, and Terry Cummings. Those are my 4. Y'all picked the 4 I had. You know what I mean? And I could go on a couple more. But
how did none of us say Shaq?
Oh yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
You picked Terry Cummings.
You know what I think really makes champions stand out? Obstacles.
Yeah.
What you go through as in obstacles really makes it stand out. Like, as dominant as Kareem was, he had to go up against Robert Parrish when they played the Celtics. And people don't talk about Parrish. You know, that's somebody else we could have put on Mount Rushmore. Robert Parrish. He never really he wasn't that like he wasn't outspoken. So nobody really talks about Robert Parrish. But Robert Parrish quietly was a beast, man. He was the anchor of all of those Larry Bird Celtic
teams,
defenses and stuff like that. And he could score. Robert Parrish is the modern day Bill Russell for the Celtics.
All right, let's keep it going. So we got 4. I got 4 NBA free agents. I'm gonna start with you, Mike. I got 4 NBA free agents right now who are probably surprising that they're not picked up. They're not officially signed anymore right now. I got DeMarcus Aldridge, I got Carmelo Anthony, I got Montrezl Harrell, and I got Dwight Howard. So out of those 4, Mike, where do you see any of them getting signed immediately, and where do you see him going? Like, first of all, DeMarcus Aldridge, where do you see him going, Mike? Because he recently just wrapped up on the Brooklyn Nets. You see him going somewhere?
All these guys are like additives to somebody that you can put like 10 minutes out of.
5 to 10 minutes. Yep, off the bench.
We don't know. I mean, he's been cleared to play, so obviously his heart's okay. So he's been cleared to play. So I don't even want to joke, but I can see the Lakers just bringing him on here and adding him to the team.
Yeah, I forgot to add DeMarcus Cousins too.
DeMarcus Cousins is going to get added. Like DeMarcus Cousins would probably be a good fit to come off the bench for the Sixers, simply because Joel Embiid never has anybody to stand up for him. Like Joel Embiid has to be the bully for everybody, and DeMarcus Cousins, if we know one thing, he wants smoke, so he wants that. What were the other two ones?
I got Carmelo and Montrezl Harrell. I think Montrezl Harrell is done personally, but Carmelo and Montrezl Harrell, who I got?
I think Montrezl Harrell actually would be a good fit with the Bucks if he was willing to take the minimum. I think he'd be a good fit with the Bucks. And the last one, say the last one more time.
Carmelo.
And Carmelo's probably going to do whatever it takes to stay with LA. They'll probably give him the minimum, and he'll probably just be like, I'm chilling right here.
So Amir, actually it's 5 now. I got DeMarcus Aldridge, who used to be with Brooklyn, Carmelo with the Lakers, Montrezl Harrell just recently was with Charlotte Hornets, Dwight Howard with the Lakers, and DeMarcus Cousins. So you see them staying with the same teams, but you see anybody going where you see good fits, like how Mike just said, because he's been,
You know what the issue is to me for everybody, with the exception of my man from Syracuse, Carmelo. The other players at this stage of their careers, the game in which they play, the game isn't played that way anymore. So it's hard to find a space to fit them into where they could be effective and efficient, because the game isn't played that way. Those are all actually big men who not only can shoot the ball or can score, but they can also play with their back to the basket. And because no offense is designed that way anymore, they don't become a liability, but you got to figure out how to utilize them. Right. And I think for each and every one of those guys, that's going to be the tough thing. How and when do we utilize them? Because the whole entire game, as we all discussed ad nauseum, is run down and everybody runs to the 3-point line now. And if you, like I said, are not shooting 43% and better, I'm not sure why you run it to the 3-point line. I'm not sure why you don't run for a layup, because you don't shoot that well.
Well, actually,
you got a better chance of making a layup.
The best shooter right now who's available, I think, is DeMarcus Cousins. You know what I mean? Like, and he don't play that great defense. You know what I mean?
Over Melo?
Well, you're right. Over Melo, Melo's probably the best one. Yeah,
and that's why Dwight Howard stays in his league so long, because he stays out the way and he protects the rim.
Yeah, and even
he don't get nobody's way.
Yeah, and even if you look at him, which isn't a good thing or a bad thing, but Dwight Howard has been a shell of himself for years. So nobody, he's not a rim protector in the sense that you're scared to go down there. You just it's Dwight down.
Put him on the
honestly, if you say something good about Dwight Howard, he was really great in the bubble.
Yeah,
he was great in the bubble.
No, he was. All right, so
that
Fig, but Fig, I think to your point, that wasn't a lot of pressure on him in the bubble. So that's why, you know what I mean? Every time he's had to seemingly have the pressure on him, meaning the team is on your back, the city's on your back, it turns into something else different seemingly for him. So I'll just go ahead.
Well, that was 20 years ago, so he ain't felt that stress.
I think you got DeMarcus Aldridge, Carmelo Anthony, Montrezl Harrell, Dwight Howard, Boogie. Where you see them all staying with their same teams? You see anybody going to make a big addition? What's your thought?
Montrezl Harrell, I really like him, man, because he's like a throwback, like an old school enforcer. He does play defense and he can knock down an open shot.
But Montrezl I like him a lot, man.
And what'd you say?
I said Montrezl Harrell played horrible the last 2 years.
He was on a horrible team. Listen, when you're on a horrible team, you look bad. You put him on a contender.
Actually, he was
really going to stand down.
Wasn't he on the Lakers the year before last? And he did what? Did he do He did something really mad.
The Lakers are just hard. The Lakers ain't even. They wasn't that good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where Montrezl Harrell will fit perfectly. Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He would do great in Milwaukee because Milwaukee plays that style of basketball. They play that hard. They play hard-nosed defense. He can get rebounds. Montrezl Harrell would be great. A spot-up shooter with Carmelo that doesn't have to do much. Give him to the Warriors.
Mike, what were you gonna say? Great
No, I was
point,
gonna
Fig.
say, I was gonna say, and that's why some of these players, and I get it, you got to chase the money, but some
Yeah.
of these players, when they fit on a team, they don't see how important that is. That he fit when he was with the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a position, he had
Yeah.
and when he moved to the Lakers, they didn't know how to use him. And some players just don't get used correctly by coaches, and sometimes they have bad chemistry with the coaches. Sometimes some locker room issues come up. Like we all know Rajon Rondo is a championship point guard, but why can he not stay with a team for more than a year anymore? There's something going on in that locker room, and
Because Rajon Rondo is a coach that's on the floor, and he's not. If he don't see you coaching well, he gonna speak up. You know what I mean?
I told you. I think if Rajon Rondo would have been the point guard in those fourth quarters against Golden State, I think the Celtics would have taken it. I'm not saying they would have won. I think it would have won 7 games.
Yeah. He definitely would have made a difference. All right, so we're gonna keep the ball rolling like you always do. Fig, you up?
Good.
No, what were you gonna say, Fig?
No, I was talking about other players. I think Dwight Howard and or DeMarcus Cousins would fit good with Warriors because number one, DeMarcus Cousins was already on the Warriors. He just got injured. And I think of Dwight Howard. You're talking about a team that doesn't need a player to do hardly anything at all. Just fill some time and not mess it up. Get some rebounds, block some shots, maybe get a couple of putbacks and an alley-oop or two. DeMarcus Cousins and Dwight Howard would fit good on that team. Either one on Golden State Warriors because that's the one team that has enough shooting. They play a team defense and they don't ask you to do much.
Real quick, if there's one college player that didn't meet his potential, is DeMarcus Cousins. Because DeMarcus Cousins was supposed to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be a Hall of Famer.
Mike, let me throw this question out to you. You go first this time. We're gonna keep the NFL. We're gonna start with the NFL right now, and because it's when you're doing a lot of obviously Mount Rushmore and everything else. Which QBs do you think is gonna catch, if possible, Tom Brady's record of 7 Super Bowls? If it's possible, which QB do you think that's playing right now that possibly can get Tom Brady's record? Now, we all know that the NFL's changed the way that it's all geared more towards offense now, which makes it a whole lot easier. Whereas, when Brady was starting, it was all geared towards defense. But if there's a QB out there or a couple of QBs, who you think can possibly catch at 7 Super Bowls?
I'm trying to think. Is there a QB that has 2?
Thank you.
Like right now, Patrick Mahomes has 1. He's been to 2. Man,
yeah, it's hard to say, right?
It's damn near impossible to do what he did. But if I think the Rams have a chance to win another Super Bowl this year. So I'm not saying Matthew Stafford is as good as Tom Brady. But I don't think Lamar, I think Josh Allen has to get to his first. Derek Carr has to get to his first. Dak Prescott has to get to his first. It's either Patrick Mahomes or Matthew Stafford who would even have a slight chance. Because nobody else is going to be like, I can't even see having a coach like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady being that great at what they do together at the same time. That doesn't happen. I mean, Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson were together and they only won 6.
You said only 6.
Compared to Tom Brady, it's only 6. Like, those are the only 2 guys I can think of. Matthew Stafford, or the only guy who had a shot was Peyton Manning. He was the only one who had a shot.
I can't believe that Mike let that go like that. He dropped the ball, man. I can't believe Mike dropped the ball on this one.
How dropped the ball?
I'll tell you exactly who can win 7 right now.
Ooh.
Baker Mayfield.
That is hilarious.
Even he laughed.
Baker Mayfield is going to turn the NFL on their ear. No, I'm kidding.
We should have done who could lose 7. Like, who could lose 7 Super Bowls?
Yeah, but you know what I really believe? Because of the talent, because of the organization, if the right pieces are in place and they're not injured, because you need all the planets to align to make this happen. Patrick Mahomes has the talent to get it done. and they got Andy Reid over there, whether he's on the field, whether he's up top, or whether he's in the middle of the organization in some type of way, Patrick Mahomes probably has the ability to get it done with all the planets aligned. One other person who I think has the talent and the ability to get it popping, which we probably not going to talk about because of this particular situation, Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has the talent and the ability to get it done on the right team. The Cleveland Browns didn't look that bad with Baker. With a Deshaun Watson, I'm expecting them to look that much better, and they could. He is still young enough to possibly be able to get it done. Those are the only two that I see off the top of my head right now.
The obnoxious thing about Tom Brady is you literally got to win your first year.
Yeah.
Like in order to do it, you got to win your first
year. First 3 out of 4.
Yeah, and you just got to come in here and start knocking it out. Like,
right, so
I don't know who does that.
Amir, the question now falls on you. If possible, which QB do you see that has enough talent and where the game is going right now is all offensive minded? Which one do you? Not that they will, but if somebody could, who do you think it could be?
The funny thing is, I don't think it's possible with any of the quarterbacks, and that's not taking anything away from their talent. Fig is right in the 2 quarterbacks in which he named, but I think the issue is, at least when you look at the NFL, first off, let's be clear, you're not guaranteed to go back to the Super Bowl every year. Certain other sports, depending on how dominant you are, depending on how great the chemistry is, with your team and all that stuff, that's one thing. But in football, that's a whole nother beast. And I just don't think that, to the points that have been made thus far, in and including a quarterback and a coach who have that kind of synergy or sync or whatever, I don't see that. I think Andy Reid is a good is a great coach, but Patrick Mahomes losing the kid Tyreek Hill, that was a major blow. That's a major blow to his situation over there.
And they lost the Honey Badger too, so they lost their defense and offense. Yeah.
So you understand what I'm saying? So I think that when you look at this modern day version of the NFL, I just don't see it based off of the fact that this modern day version of the NFL, there were too many great players on too many great teams.
All right,
do you know how tough? Do you know how tough you have to? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Mine would be, and it's going to hurt me to say this, but mine would be if I had to pick somebody.
Daniel Jones.
No, who could catch? I would say Josh Allen because they got the perfect storm brewing up there in Buffalo. You know what I mean? They got a great coach, and Josh Allen is the new breed QB where you run and throw, and he's big and he's strong. And he's got a whole wide receiver quartet. You know what I mean? But I think he could do. But who wanted to add something? You wanted to add something, Mike?
I think what I was going to say. If we're going to compare quarterbacks right now to Tom Brady, here's something we got to keep in mind. They probably will have to play as long as Tom Brady. They'll probably have to play 20 plus years to be able to do it because I'm not sure, Frank. I'm going to ask this question. Has there ever been an NFL team in the modern day that has gone to 3 straight?
In the modern day, since in the last 22 years, no, hasn't been. Well, that's not true. Yeah, there has been.
But they lost them all.
No, the Patriots went to 3 straight just recently, and they lost one to Philly. They won in Atlanta. They lost to Philly, and they beat the Rams. They just went to 3 straight.
Doug, do you know how tough you have to be and how scary you have to be to walk around your whole life being called the Honey Badger? That is amazing. You know what type of scary football player you have to do to have that nickname? Like you gotta really be that dude. Because that means if you shorten it, you're just calling him Honey.
Mike, it's him. It's the Honey Badger. Oh my God.
So Mike, since we were talking about Cleveland, right? Cleveland right now is working on 2 QBs. They're working on AJ McLaren and they're working on Josh Rosen right now as we speak. So they both reporting and everything else. Do you think Cleveland should go with AJ McLaren or Josh Rosen? Because obviously they got a QB situation.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
But they got to pick one.
AJ McLaren, take whoever you want to take because I told y'all this is a wasted season for the Cleveland Browns. And they're going to live to regret paying Deshaun. This is not based on his talent. This is based on an organization. They're going to live to regret paying somebody $233 million who's not going to win them a Super Bowl. Just like the Arizona Cardinals are going to regret paying a 5'6" quarterback, Kyler Murray, a gang of money.
He might be 5'7". He might be 5'7". Don't get mad.
He might be 5'7". But watch when these organizations look back on these deals that inflated the quarterback market, and they're going to be killing themselves for paying them this amount of money.
You guys have such a short memory. Who lit up the NFL that was a little dude? Doug Flutie.
Yeah.
Wait. Did he win a Super Bowl?
No, Warren Moon.
Warren Moon wasn't little. Warren Moon was like 6'3".
Hold on. Amir, AJ McLaren or Josh Rosen? Cleveland Browns got to pick one of those two. Who you see?
Probably AJ McLaren. I just think that probably gives them, to Mike's point, something to do for this year, because none of these NFL teams, good, bad, and different, even though they, have their money made or whatever, you still want to try to put out what appears to be some sort of good product for the consumers. We know that Cleveland has, been, relatively bad for years and years and years. And like we said, we had Baker Mayfield coming in, kind of, put his finger in some of the holes in the dike, and that kind of helped them a little bit. But, it's going to be still a minute before they actually actualize to what we hope they'd be someday, Okay.
Fig, you got the last word on this, bro. AJ McLaren, Josh Rosen.
I think Josh Rosen has made more of a name for himself. So I would probably go with the Rosen, as opposed to AJ.
All right, so Monday, I'm going to mix it up too when we do some more of this Mount Rushmore, and hopefully we get some more sport news. I'm going to throw in some more boxing. I'm going to throw in some baseball. I'm going to throw in some, I'm going to give you all some homework over the weekend, man.
Just don't bring up AJ McLaren ever again. Like, please, just don't.
Hey, then you're going to have a problem. If he gets the Cleveland Browns starting job, then you're going to have a problem because he just might. He just might. You know what? And if I had to throw it out there real fast.
Josh Rosen.
I don't know who your favorite fighter is, but, I'm going to want you all to think about it over the weekend. Like
Errol Spence Jr. is my favorite fighter in all the world.
Yeah, that boy, you know who I like?
Errol Spence Jr.
How about that boy Bud? That boy Bud ain't no joke either.
Terrence Crawford's amazing.
Right?
Yes,
one of my favorites is Marvin Hagler. I love.
Oh, you mean of all time?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then
that's
I put Roberto Duran in there.
Roberto
Duran. No mas. What he said? No mas.
No mas.
He said no mas.
I got the sugar. I got that
Sugar Ray.
Sugar.
You got what sugar you got? You got Leonard. You got Leonard or Ray Robinson? Because I got Ray Robinson.
Oh, I got Ray Robinson.
I got Ray Leonard. Ray Leonard was oh my God.
Yeah, Ray Leonard was a beast. So we're gonna think about that. We're gonna talk about boxing. We gotta add some of that. We gotta add a little bit of some baseball for our baseball audience. We're gonna talk about some of that too. And we have a couple more Mount Rushmore questions because let's be honest, man. The sports are a little bit slow, but it's funny to bicker and debate and all that stuff. And I am gonna come back with some more Mount Rushmore debates in basketball too. Amir, thank you for joining the show, sitting in for talent, man. I appreciate you. Tell everybody how they can follow you, bro.
I'm out at the bottom there. I'm A-Rock Silly on Instagram, and I'm Amir Silly on Twitter and on Facebook. As always, gentlemen, I've enjoyed coming on here and chopping it up with y'all. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Michael Sean, tell everybody out there.
Follow me at Mike's on Comedy. Anytime you see me on this show, that means I have not been arrested, which is always a good thing. It's always a beautiful thing. So when you see my face on here, understand I have freedom right now.
Fig, I don't know if you can top that one.
At Comedian Fig, two things. One, Renee Parker put out two boxers that we didn't mention, Bernard Hopkins and Sweet Pea Whitaker. Yeah. And this weekend, tomorrow, as a matter of fact, I'm doing Cousins, Catfish, and Comedy out in Long Island, in Wheatley Heights, Long Island, man. That's going to be a ball. Me and Brooklyn Mike.
Oh, that's dope.
So let me make this major announcement thank you all for watching. I appreciate all the people who are watching and everything else. We're going to make a flyer on this and everything else. But Box Seats is coming to Caroline's We're going to be there August 23rd, 7 p.m. It's going to be Michael Sean. It's going to be Fig. It's going to be Talent. It's going to be Rodney Perry. We want all you all to come out. Obviously, bring some friends and everything else. It's free. We ain't got no control over the drinks. Y'all going to have to buy 2 drinks. But it's Tuesday, August 23rd. Doors are going to open at 7. Like I said, Fig is going to be there. Michael Sean's going to be there. Talent, Rodney Perry. We're going to do a show called Of Box Seats. And then after that, we're going to do a comedy show.
Awesome problem.
Yeah, and you already know how we're going to get down. So I'm going to see if I can talk Talent into hosting because, Fig said that we got to have Talent is the best host in this side of the East Coast.
Ain't he, Mike? Like when Talent hosts a show, the crowd is
debate that. I can't debate that. I think Talent
is
one of the kings of comedy, New York kings of comedy. I think he's the dude. So we're going to be promoting this every single day between now and up to August 23rd. We want you all to tell your friends and tell their friends. We want all these people who are watching to come in, and thank you all for supporting. Y'all going to see Boxies live. I'm going to be there. These guys are going to be there. And again, y'all have a great weekend. It's all brought to you by Humor Mill, the Humor Mill app. And you guys who do the Boxies, thank you all for putting in your time. I appreciate you, Fig. I appreciate you, Amir. I appreciate you, Mike. I appreciate Talent. I appreciate Dave, who I haven't seen in a while. I hope he gets better too. But I appreciate
prayers out. Prayers out.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks to my man Kev for helping me put together the show too. And thanks to Rodney Perry, who's not here too. I think he's going to be there too. So thank you all. Let's get ready. Have a great weekend. It's going to be 100 degrees up here. Y'all be safe and hydrate for real.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll see y'all. Have a good
All
weekend.
right, later, y'all.